going on, YouTube? It is Black Friday 2018. This is just an assortment of all the Greenlight accessories that I've acquired over the years. Only 2 accessory packs purchased. Actually, 1 purchased, the NYPD Barricade. And then 1 was roped to me, the Michelin shop set with the shop bench, or workbench, the creeper, the tool cart, the toolbox, the hydraulic jack, and the tire rack. The rest of them have just come over time in different castings and different Motor World dioramas and things like that. So that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that my collection was that large at this point. So pretty rad. I like it. We're going to look at some cars here. I don't know how to describe what we're about to look at, but I promise you it's going to be 3 things that you've never seen in your life, and more than likely aren't shown anywhere else on YouTube. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, a couple of these I know you guys have seen. The first 3 cars you've seen. The last 3 cars you have not. So we'll start with this. Just out in our travels today, we had to stop at a Kroger's. It's called Fry's here in Phoenix. Kids had to go potty, and I kind of had to go too, if I'm honest. I had a large beverage this morning because we were up and at 'em early. So popped our heads into a Fry's, and lo and behold, the Hot Wheels 50. They had a good amount of them too. They were only missing a couple, but I only grabbed 2 because these don't really interest me all that much. This thing is sweet though. This is awesome to get a nice adult collectibles version of this truck. The wood bed. The pipes look kind of cheesy. Other than that, I think it looks, the only casting I have to put this against is the Johnny Lightning. The Johnny Lightning is okay. I think the Hot Wheels, did a much better job on the stance. And I actually think this is a really nicely detailed little Hot Wheels piece. It's definitely a PC car, so there is that. This next one is the one that I couldn't believe I found. It was right on the front, and I got excited thinking, oh, there's got to be at least a couple more, and there wasn't. It was just the one, so. But at least I got one. No idea what they're selling for, but I think it's around 15 or 20. That is a really cool paint job. That is a very cool paint job, actually. That color's not going to show through on camera. Now, I know a lot of you probably look at the windows on this and think, why do you do that? That's actually how they were. That is authentic to the car. So that's a nice touch in this case with the gasser. Beautiful high gloss finish on the paint. Big deal. I like this casting, but I'm not like, I just don't get too worked up over Hot Wheels. The only releases that have really excited me in the last 6 months was the C210 Skyline, the Laurel, and the Skyline van. That's pretty much it. But if I find this type of stuff out there in the wild, I will grab it. I'm just not going to go pay 3 or 4 times the price on the secondhand market. So, pretty awesome to find this. All right, let's get to the good stuff. So this one you guys have all seen by now. As a matter of fact, I grabbed this one out because we're going to be doing a comparison now. On this one, I nicked the antenna, so it's a little bent. When it's not bent, it looks sharp. I just need to pull it off and put another one on there. So this is my creation here. As far as I know, I was the first to do this. All of this stuff going on the roof of this car, it takes it takes 3 donor vehicles. You need a military truck from Greenlight for the shovel and the pickaxe. You need a Volkswagen van from Greenlight. You need one that has the luggage rack on top. And then you need a Dodge Ram from Johnny Lightning with a roll bar so you can pull the light bar off of it. So you have to basically tear apart those 3 castings to make this little setup here work. And then obviously the spare tire, you can use any spare tire that you want to use. Most collectors should have those laying around, so you shouldn't have to butcher a casting for a spare tire. But anyways, this was my creation. Like I said, I've seen other people do safari racks on customs and stuff like that, but I've never really seen them to this extent with the shovel and the pickaxe and the spare and the light bar and the antenna. And it was only, I don't know, 6 months after I made this that Johnny Lightning made an announcement on a retooling of the casting. So I'm really happy about it. This is a Miho exclusive. So it's 4,800 produced. It's not like the Bishop where there's only 1,200. But I had to get this because of this TRD deco. This is one of my favorite Toyota liveries. And this retooling with the hardtop looks amazing. It really looks good. But I'm really curious to look at this safari rack on this thing and compare it with mine, because it couldn't be more obvious that they... I mean, maybe it's my ego, which I don't really have an ego, but it's hard for me to not assume that this was somewhat, in some small way at the very least, inspired by what I did. And look, normally I would say parallel thought, but it's so similar to mine. And mine is straight up custom built, you know? I mean, this is a straight up custom built safari rack with 6 different pieces, making it one unit. And the rack that they made is virtually identical. It's missing the pickaxe and the tire, and that's it. And then they replaced it with gas cans, which I totally would have done had I been able to find some scale gas cans. Anyways, let's take a look at this retooling. It is awesome. And I got one that's mounted proper, so I'm real happy about that. So many of these Land Cruisers have cattywampus bases. But look, the light bar up here, identical. The shovel is the same color and everything. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. I mean, look at that. It's just hard for me to think that they just came up with this without seeing one somewhere on their own. It's just so similar. That's why I think that, you know, it's not like, you know, they do a safari rack or whatever. The similarities are striking. The rack itself is definitely a lot nicer. Definitely a lot nicer. But it's also made specifically for this purpose. Personally, I would rather have the spare on top, especially with the ladder. I think that would be a better look. I wonder, actually... So if you took the spare off the back and put it in the rack, you would have something like this. You know, just imagine that's not there. I think that would be a little bit better look, personally. I feel like I'm getting some resistance on this axle. Front axle is free. It's the rear axle that's causing... There's some significant tire rub. Anyways, let me pop this spare back on and then we'll go over this. So, this is obviously not related to mine. However, if you saw the Bronco that I did, which I did the Bronco shortly before I did the Land Cruiser, my Bronco did have a push bar added to it. So, I don't know. It's not likely that guys over there are sitting watching my videos, but I don't think it's all that far-fetched either. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. The diecast community is fairly well intertwined. The retooling on the hardtop looks great. It actually looks really, really good. I definitely like the hardtop a lot better than the soft top. And the ladder is an awesome touch. You have the jack here. Just awesome that they put that there. And then you have the jerry cans on top. And then you've got your light bar. You also have some lights right on the winch there. You got the hook. This is a very sturdy brush guard. You got the snorkel here, which is new to the Land Cruiser. It's not new to Johnny. They had it on the Cherokees, but it is new to the Land Cruiser. And then over here you have the shovel. So that is just a really cool piece. It's definitely my favorite. It's instantly my favorite Johnny Lightning Land Cruiser, and I am going to have to get all the others just because it's just that cool. But I'm happy to have this deco to go with the Bishop. Anyways, here is kind of the difference between the hard top and the soft top, and their rack versus my rack. Which one do you guys like better? I like theirs better, mainly because of the hard top, because you can put a safari rack on a soft top. People do it all the time, but it takes a little bit of rigging, and I'm not a fabricator, especially in this scale. But to have some little supports coming up over the top underneath the rack would be far more realistic. But like I said, I'm not a fabricator of things, so it just is what it is. But I think it still looks really good. There are things about theirs that I like better, and then there are things about mine that I like better. Honestly, I like my light bar better. I think the square lights look better. Personal opinion, it's subjective. I like their light bar. I just think the square look a little bit better, just being that it's more of a square casting. The round lights, though, are definitely going to be more modern, you know. That's a more modern touch. I don't even think you can get square fog lights or KC lights anymore. Yeah, that's really about it. And the antenna, you know. Which I'm going to have to take this one off and put a new one on because it's just too bent up. Too bent out of shape. The snorkel's really cool too, but I love the brown seats in this thing. I love that. I don't think any of the other Land Cruisers that I have that. I don't know if it's even showing up here in the video, but those seats are brown. And the BF Goodrich decals with the Toyota and the TRD graphics with the white wheels, it looks awesome. It just looks awesome. I'm super happy to have it. So, all right. So, moving on. because we have some amazing stuff to look at here. All right. So this car here, I don't know the brand. All the writing is in, I don't know if it's, I'm going to assume it's Japanese just because it's Honda, but it could be Chinese or, you know, it could be any of those Asian brands. I just don't know what market this was made for. I can tell you it wasn't made for the US, but this is a Honda Accord Sport Turbo. I don't know. I'm sure that some of that has to do with the year. I think it's a 2018. But let's open it up and take a look at what we're dealing with here. It's a very nice piece. Kind of a... It's kind of a mix between... I would say like a Tomica Premium. Actually, that's probably the closest thing I would compare it to, because it doesn't have lensed details, nor does it have rubber tires, but it does have prototypical wheels, although they're not all that detailed. But the casting itself looks really good. It's just that stupid dark color, same color as the Civic from Mini GT, and it just doesn't show up on camera. But I got this. It's not the most detailed car, and it's priced right there with TLV. But there are just so few Hondas out there, especially the Honda Accords, that I had to get it. Because with cars like this, you may only get one chance to buy it. It has sprung suspension. It has the privacy glass, Honda badging, painted headlights and taillights, very nicely painted headlights and taillights. And there's your base. So the base on this is, it's not metal. It's just a plastic base. But the car is really heavy. It's actually really heavy. Like, you can see how heavy that is. And what else was I going to say? I don't know. It's just a really cool car. You know, there's just... Whoa now. There's just not a lot of Honda Accords out there in the scale. I can't believe I've done that twice in a week. I apologize, guys. That's so Bush League. So Bush League to knock the camera over. I'm 20 minutes in, so I'm not going to start it over. You guys just caught a view of the ceiling. I don't care. I was going to say something about it, and I forgot. But... yeah, it's definitely not... It's actually probably not as nice as Tomica Premium. As far as the detail goes, I think those cars actually do look a little better. But it's a nice car. You know, it's obviously the nicest late model Honda Accord that's been made that I know of. Because no one else has made one. The only other brand I know of that's made a Honda Accord is Johnny Lightning. I'm sure Tomica's made some Honda Accords, but there just aren't a lot of them out there. So I had to pick this up. My mom just bought one of these too, 2018, about 6 months ago. So that's not that I care, you know. It's like I'm not out to collect cars that family members have. I do try to buy castings that represent cars that I've had at some point or another. Which, speaking of that, let me show you, before we look at these last two, which, trust me, you guys are going to want to see, because you may never see them again. I want to show you the guy that's customizing my my Lexus is almost done. He sent me a video and a picture yesterday. I'm going to kill this for a moment. I know this is a picture of a picture, and it's really zoomed in, so the pixelation is not good. But that's where he's at. Now that's a Motormax tooling. But this guy's work is unbelievable. I mean, I've had some nice customs. You know, I've had some Night Stalker stuff, and I've seen in person KZ and, you know, some of the other guys that are really good. And in my opinion, just my opinion, this guy's work is just as good, if not better. He's definitely what I would call elite when it comes to making customs. His work is well above average, and that's why I knew that I wanted him to do this as soon as I got it. I'm going to lay this one down here and do it this way. This is just a little video, shows a little bit more. If I can get my camera to focus. So those are the M2 wheels that I found with that Ford Overlord. I had to buy 2 of them because the wheels were staggered. So to get all 4 the same size, I had to buy 2. It was worth it though. Now I have a set a little bit smaller than that. Same wheels. But they're Foose wheels, and the wheels on my actual truck are Foose. So that worked out. And, you know, the guy's work is just amazing, the detail. I had a couple of Brock Racing Fair Ladies from him, and they looked as good or better than the Vintage Racing 510. You know, and I'm just talking about the aesthetics of the car, the fit and finish of the paint job, you know, was his paint job, his Brie livery that he put on those cars was much nicer than the Brie livery that Hot Wheels put on the Vintage Racing 510. It was a much cleaner job. There was no bleeding anywhere. There was nothing off center. The decals were sharp. You could not see the edge of the decals. A very thick, high gloss clear coat, and everything was just stellar. So I'm very confident with his ability. Anyways, I picked up my first oversteer. A lot of you guys are going to be disappointed by this, I'm sure, because it's not the GTR that everybody covets. But I'm a Toyota enthusiast, and so here we go with the Toyota. Actually, these last 2, I don't think I need the tripod. I'll do this. Let's go. Tripod free. By the way, the telephone poles are temporary, as you can tell. The telephone wires are temporary. I'm just trying to get a feel of how it would look if installed on this layout. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is Oversteer, my first Oversteer. Toyota CHR, produced by Oversteer with Interallied Company Limited. It's amazing, no doubt about it. I've not seen one of these up close and personal. I've seen them in the packaging. You know, I've seen the GTRs in the packaging, but never actually taken one this close and looked it over. So there was the silver color, and then there was that like a reddish orangish color, which also looked very good. But I couldn't decide, and my rule of thumb is if you can't decide, always go with silver. So that's the one I grabbed. The lines on the car are amazing. The prototypical wheels are amazing. These are rubber tires. Look at the side view mirrors. That is pretty incredible. Headlights and taillights look amazing. Got the Toyota badge. Got the spoiler. There's those lensed headlights. I know a lot of you might get bent out of shape on something like this because the hood doesn't open and there's no engine detail. But, I mean, honestly, who gives a shit about that? It's tiny cars with, I mean, who cares? It's a tiny piece of plastic in there. I just want the car to look as close to the actual car as possible. And this, to me, looks to be as nice or better than any other brand I've seen in the scale. I have to come out and say it. Now, in another video, I'll take this off the base and we'll give it a real close look. But I think for now, that's a close enough look. I'm short on time here. And I've got one more that I want to show you guys. This next one, I couldn't believe. Like, I mean, when I saw it, I don't get too surprised anymore because the thing is, and first of all, I haven't been to the Toy Pimp's house yet. I'm going over there tomorrow, but I was at a local shop where he has a booth. So these were sourced from him, but there will be more to come tomorrow. But I've been buying from him long enough that I don't get surprised when I see stuff like this. But I've never seen this before anywhere. And I'm going to have to do some research on it, but check this out. I don't know the brand. He doesn't know the brand. It's a 2013 Cadillac Escalade. And I mean, it is super highly detailed, but here's the problem. You can't package your cars like that. That's just asking for it to get ruined. That's like saying, hey, paper, come chemically react with my paint job and ruin it. And then the paper's like, okay, why don't you take me on there and I'll do that. So whoever did this, it was a horrible idea. Especially when the car is screwed down to the base, it's totally unnecessary. You know, it's like, why? Why are you doing that? So obviously, like, first job here, first priority is to get this off. Let's do that. Let me get my trusted razor blade here. And I'm just going to slice right through it. No issues there. Okay. Lied. A little bit more of an issue than I thought. I didn't think it was tape, but it is. But no worries, we got it. Okay. This ugly tape off of here. Hiding such a beautiful piece. Wow, that is so amazing. I didn't even know that these existed, so the fact that one just pops up, I'm not surprised, because if stuff like this does exist, the Toy Pimp will find it. And he will buy it, and he will sell it as soon as he puts one into his personal collection. All right, let's take a close look at this. I've never seen a premium detailed Cadillac Escalade before. Johnny Lightning has a pretty decent Escalade casting. Honestly, one of the nicer Escalade castings, in my opinion, is that new Matchbox. But it pales in comparison because, you know, partly because it's a basic 99-cent model, whereas this is a premium detailed model, and this was expensive. This one here was not cheap. Not cheap. But look at that. And I will probably never again come across one of these So I don't regret buying it at all. I'm a huge fan of premium detailed SUVs and four-wheel drives. And so to get something like this into that part of my collection is really something for me to get excited about. Because all I really have is the FJ Cruiser, the Land Cruiser, both from Kyosho. I've got the Schuko Land Rover. I've got the Tomica Limited Vintage Land Cruiser and Nissan Safari. And then that's about it. And then everything else goes over to Johnny Lightning and Greenlight, you know, stuff like this. Which, you know, I'm sorry, that's really nice, but it's not on the same playing field as this. It's not in the same stratosphere, let alone same playing field. So originally, because of the scarcity of this and the value, I was thinking I was going to keep it on the base in the acrylic, but after having it out here and looking at it, it's honestly not as nice as I thought it was going to be. Still very nice. So with that being said, I'm going to take it off the base in the next video along with the Toyota from Oversteer so that we can give it a good thorough review. The interior on this thing really stands out. I mean, I noticed that right away, but I don't know if I can get it to show through. Freaking interior is just crazy. Look at that interior. That's definitely one of the nicer 1:64 scale interiors that I've seen. So, anyways, yep, that's a dope casting. I like it. I almost wish it was a Tahoe instead, but, you know, whatever. So, okay. Now, with all of that said, we've got Toyota, Cadillac, and I've already put my Honda away. Put that there. So, not much, just a small little haul today. But don't fret, there will be more tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll holler at you all tomorrow night.